Okay, I just want to let you know, stick around to the end of the video. I have a little surprise from my friend Skaggles. Now, I saw, talk of Trump wanting a military parade recently, and I instantly thought about the Soviet Union and North Korea. It's ridiculous. Besides, the financial aspect of it is insane. Why waste money on a parade when that money could easily be going to, I don't know, helping the homeless veterans especially? But I mean, of course, gotta show off our military might. It's a dick measuring contest. I don't understand it. I just think it's a horrible idea, and I'm not the only one. Legislation would block Trump military parade. We can only hope, because not from a political standpoint, but from a financial standpoint, the parade would be a horrible idea. New legislation would effectively block President Trump from staging a military parade after the idea of tanks rolling down Pennsylvania Avenue drew comparisons to North Korea and the Soviet Union. Like I said, when your two biggest examples of something that you want to do are communist countries, that's not a good example to have. Some people just get stupid inspiration from stupid places, and they shouldn't be using that inspiration. The Preparedness Before Parades Act, introduced Thursday by Representative Brad Schneider, would create rules that make such parades nearly impossible, which is a good thing because I'm sure they would replace the treads on the tanks, and if not, just think of the damage those treads would cause to the streets. That just makes my brain hurt because I've seen what treads on heavy equipment can do to roads. Heavy equipment that's not nearly as heavy as tanks. So, it would be a bad idea. I have severe concerns about the cost, diversion of resources, and effect on readiness of a large-scale parade seemingly conceived only to please the whims of the president, Schneider said in a statement. Under the bill, a large-scale military parade would require approval from the defense secretary and the municipal government where the event is planned. It could only proceed if the executive office of the president paid at least 50% of the parade costs. Which I completely agree with, simply because it's his ego-driven desire. So, I have no problem with him having to foot half the bill. And I would make him do it out of his own pocket, if at all possible, because, I mean, it only seems right. He shouldn't be allowed to waste taxpayer money on a needless show of military force. The mayor and city council members in the District of Columbia reacted with hostility to the reported parade plans and would emerge as a significant roadblock. Yeah, because you gotta remember, DC's not run by the federal government. It's basically, it's a city, so it's got its own city government and all that. I still think the parade's a stupid idea. The executive office of the president does have an annual budget of about $700 million, but much of that is allocated to specific sub-offices, such as the Office of Management and Budget and the Office of National Drug Control Policy. The White House itself has an annual budget of about $58 million, lacking significant wiggle room to finance a parade estimated to cost millions of dollars. A 1991 military parade celebrating the victory of the Gulf War cost about $12 million. Like I said, the costs alone should be an impediment to this parade. But somebody driven by ego will find a way to get it done. Under the bill, the defense secretary would have to certify that the parade will have no effect on the military readiness or budgetary needs of the armed forces, something that it clearly would, that the diversion of personnel and equipment associated with the parade will have no effect on the military readiness of the armed forces, which, admittedly, tanks and all that, probably wouldn't, because I don't see anybody invading just that quickly. But Now, fighter jets and that sort of thing, yeah, that would be a problem. And that the financial costs associated with the parade will have no effect on military readiness. Now that, I wouldn't know too much about, so. Schneider introduced his bill without original co-sponsors, but there's broad bipartisan opposition to a military parade. Good. I don't believe we should have tanks or nuclear weapons going down Pennsylvania Avenue, Representative Lee Zeldin scoffed in a Tuesday television interview. Now see, I just thought regular ICBMs. I never once thought of nukes. Yeah, that would be a bad idea. That would be a really bad idea. I think confidence is silent and insecurity is loud, said Senator John Kennedy from Louisiana. And yeah, he's exactly right. Like I said, look at a dick measuring contest, you know. No, mine's bigger. No, mine's bigger. They get loud. That sort of thing. So, he's right when it comes to that. Robert O'Neill, the politically conservative former Navy SEAL who claims to have killed Osama bin Laden, said Thursday, a military parade is third world bullshit. Exactly! I don't see England having a military parade, and let's face it, they're our biggest ally. For now. In Canada, well, I don't even think they really have a full military because, well, they're Canadians. I think Canadians are just armed with moose launchers. The Washington Post reported Tuesday Trump recently gave military leaders, including Defense Secretary James Mattis, orders to plan a parade like the one in France on Bastille Day. White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders said Wednesday the parade planning currently was in a brainstorming session. Trump and brainstorming, yeah, that's an oxymoron.
Here's the oxymoron mascot.
Anti-war organizers vowed Tiananmen Square-style resistance with activist Arne Minkani, sorry if I screwed that up, collecting the names of volunteers to lay in front of tanks. DC Councilman David Grosso, a political independent, said he would organize a large anti-war march if Trump proceeded with a parade. I have a question. Did we suddenly go back to the 1960s? It's kind of like a time warp. I'm just waiting for tie-dyed shirts, peace and love, you know, all that to start going around. Now, don't get me wrong, the free love idea, I can get behind that. This could be the golden opportunity to build a broad-based, energized peace movement, longtime Code Pink organizer Medea Benjamin told the Washington Examiner. If it goes ahead, I think there will be massive protests of all kinds, rallies, civil disobedience, smaller affinity groups doing creative counter parades, clowns, dancing soldiers with brass bands, contingents of healthcare workers, teachers, she said. I envision a potpourri of actions with lots of people involved. Now, if she's talking civil disobedience as in riots, big problem. But admittedly, she's looking for peace, so hopefully that won't be an issue. But in today's day and age, it's a little tricky. Okay, I promise you guys a little surprise for my friend Skaggles. Well, enjoy.
What the